The Green Zone mission. Jack stepped off the transport ship and looked around. Green mist floated in the air. Tall trees with red leaves stretched into the sky. Thick vines curled across the ground. This was Orana 7, a jungle planet at the edge of explored space. His mission was simple: scout the area, locate old alien tech, and return. The command called it a green zone, safe, quiet, empty. But Jack already felt something strange. Birds didn't sing here. The air didn't move. Everything felt too still. "You sure this place is empty?" Jack asked his team leader, Sergeant Cruz. "Yeah," Cruz replied, checking his scanner. "Nothing on the radar. No life signs. Just plants and old ruins." Jack nodded, but didn't feel sure. His fingers tightened on his rifle. Their team moved slowly through the jungle. 7 soldiers in dark armor, eyes watching every shadow. The deeper they walked, the darker the jungle became. Sunlight barely reached the ground. "We'll camp near the big cliff," Cruz said. "We scan at sunrise, then head back." Jack stayed near the back of the team. He watched the trees. He thought he saw something move, just a shape high above. He looked again. Nothing. At night, they set up camp. Firelight flickered against the trees. Jack sat near the edge listening. Suddenly he heard a whisper, not in his ear, in his mind, a soft voice like wind through leaves. "Go back." Jack stood and looked into the jungle. "Did you hear that?" he asked. "Hear what?" one of the others said. "Nothing," Jack replied, unsure if he was going crazy. When he turned back, a glowing blue mark had appeared on a nearby tree. It wasn't there before. It pulsed softly. He reached out. "Don't touch that," Cruz warned. "Could be poisonous." They all went to sleep uneasy that night, but Jack didn't sleep long. He woke to silence. No guards. No campfire. No sound. He sat up and looked around. The camp was empty. Gear was left behind. Rifles, food packs, everything. But the people were gone. "Cruz?" he called. "Anyone?" No answer. Jack checked his comms. Dead. His heart started to race. He grabbed his pack and rifle, then moved through the jungle slowly, calling the names of his team. Nothing answered. No birds. No insects. No wind. Then he saw her. Just for a moment. Figure standing in the mist ahead. Tall, graceful, glowing silver skin. Long hair that moved like water, bright eyes. An alien. A woman. A queen. She looked at him without fear, then vanished into the trees. Jack ran after her, but there was no trace. Only soft, glowing footsteps that disappeared after a few seconds. He stopped, breathing hard. "Who are you?" he shouted. The jungle answered with silence. He sat down on a fallen log, trying to understand. His team was gone. His gear couldn't call for help, and something, or someone, was watching him. He took out his scanner. It showed nothing, just plants, but he knew better. Someone was there, and that someone had taken his team. He opened his notebook and began to write. Day 1. Something is wrong in this jungle. They said it was safe. They were wrong. I saw her. She saw me. She didn't attack. She watched. I don't know what she is, but I think she lives here, and this jungle belongs to her. Jack looked up. The trees seemed to breathe. He knew one thing for sure. This was no empty zone, and he was no longer the hunter. He was the one being watched. A trap of vines and starlight. The jungle was alive with secrets. Jack moved slowly between twisted roots and thick plants. The soft glow from his wrist light barely lit the way. Shadows crawled between trees, and every step felt like it led deeper into a place he was not supposed to enter. The others were still missing. No blood, no signs of struggle. It was like they had vanished into thin air. Jack's boots crushed something, soft. He looked down. A helmet. Standard issue, scratched and cracked. It belonged to Private Lena. He picked it up. Inside was a thin green vine, not just wrapped around the helmet. It was growing through it. The jungle took her, he thought. He looked around. "Where are you?" he whispered. Again, that voice returned. Soft, not a sound but a feeling in his mind. "You are still here." His breath caught in his throat. He spun around. Nothing but trees. "Who are you?" he asked, louder now. "What do you want?" No answer, only the quiet hum of the jungle. He moved again, gripping his rifle tight. Every tree now looked like it was watching. Every vine felt like a trap. And then, one was. Something snapped beneath his foot, a sharp click. Before he could react, vines shot from the ground and trees. They wrapped around his arms and legs, lifting him off the ground. His rifle fell, his pack dropped. The vines pulled him into the air like a puppet. "No," he shouted, struggling. The vines carried him upward into the canopy, past glowing plants and humming pods. Higher, deeper, until the world turned soft and green and silent. He was lowered into a cave of leaves and light. Soft moss covered the walls. Glowing flowers hung from the ceiling. Water dripped from glowing roots, and there she stood, tall, graceful, alien. The queen. Her skin was silver with faint blue markings that moved like light underwater. Her eyes were not angry, but deep, unreadable. Her hair flowed like smoke. Jack stared, breathing hard. "What are you?" he asked. She didn't speak with her mouth. Her voice echoed in his mind. "You are loud. You carry fire. You bring fear." He shook his head. "No, we came to explore. We thought this place was empty." "You were told a lie?" she answered. "This land is not empty. This land is sacred." Jack looked around. "My team. What did you do to them?" She walked closer. Vines untied his arms but left him kneeling. "They sleep. They are not hurt. They were taken away before they could cause more harm." "Harm?" Jack asked. "We didn't attack. Your kind never needs to strike first. Your weapons are already a threat." Jack's voice softened. "I don't want to fight. I just want them back." She studied him. Then, slowly, she lifted a hand. From the shadows, the vines pulled forward a glowing orb. Inside it floated images of his team, alive, unconscious, sleeping in cocoons of vines, safe but trapped. "Let them go," he said. "Not yet," she replied. "First you must see." The vines lowered the orb and showed new images, visions of war, of fire falling from the sky, of ships burning trees and soldiers stomping on alien roots. Long ago, the Empire came. They killed my kind, burned our world, so we hid, and we grew the jungle around us. Now we protect what remains. Tears formed in Jack's eyes. "They didn't tell us, we didn't know. Now you do." Jack stepped forward. "What happens now?" The queen looked into his mind. "You are different. Your voice is soft. Your heart still moves. Maybe you are not like them." A small vine reached from the ground and wrapped gently around his hand. "You may stay or you may leave. But if you return with fire, the forest will answer." Jack looked at her, truly looked. She was not a monster. She was a guardian. "I won't let them burn this place," he said. "But I need to go back. Let me tell them the truth." The queen turned and walked into the light. "Go, but know this, the jungle remembers. And so do I." Jack was lifted gently by the vines and carried back through the glowing trees. They placed him at the edge of a wide lake under the night sky. His gear lay beside him. His team was still inside, still prisoners. But now he had a choice: return with an army or return with peace. He looked at the stars above, and he knew. Nothing about this mission was simple anymore. The secret beneath the roots, Jack sat by the silent lake until the sun returned. His mind was heavy. The queen's voice still echoed inside him. Her calm, her warning, her sadness. It all felt too real now. He looked down at the ground beneath, roots, vines, soil. But now he knew. This jungle wasn't just alive. It was listening. He stood, gathered his gear, and turned toward the trail. But there was no trail, only jungle. Yet somehow, the trees seemed to shift. Branches moved aside, the vines untangled as if showing him the way. He didn't know how long he walked. The sun passed through clouds, then vanished again. And then he saw it. An old stone arch, half covered in moss, pulsing with blue veins of light. Carved into the stone were symbols, ancient, curved, strange, and at the center a single image, a star wrapped in vines, protected by a queen. He stepped through. The jungle opened into a hidden valley, and there, hidden beneath layers of green and thyme, stood a city, not made by humans. Alien towers, smooth and organic, rose from the ground like they had grown there. Light flowed through them like rivers under glass. Strange flying creatures moved in silent patterns above. Jack's eyes widened. "This is impossible," he whispered. "Not impossible," said a soft voice behind him. He turned. The queen stood there again, her glowing eyes watching him closely. "You came back." "I had to," Jack said. "I need to understand." She nodded once and began walking. He followed her into the heart of the city. They entered a wide chamber filled with glowing trees and floating crystals. In the center was a giant sphere, pulsing like a heartbeat. It floated above a deep pit of roots humming with power. Jack stared at it. "What is that?" "The seed of memory," she said. "Our last defense. Our last truth. Our last sin." She walked to the edge of the pit and placed her hand on a root. The air shimmered. Jack was pulled into a vision. He saw a younger version of the queen standing before a great council. Her people were proud, powerful, and peaceful. They used the jungle's energy not to destroy, but to heal, to grow, to protect. Then the Empire came. Huge ships, burning fire. They wanted the seed, the source of power hidden deep in the jungle. When the queen refused, they destroyed city after city. Millions died. Only a few survived. The queen and her guardians buried the seed beneath the roots and vanished. They let the jungle grow wild, dangerous, untouchable. And then, silence. The Empire believed the jungle was cursed. They never returned. Until now. Jack gasped and fell back. The vision ended. The queen watched him quietly. "Now you know." Jack's hands shook. "They want it again," he whispered. "That's why they sent us. They said it was a scan mission, but it's not. They knew." She nodded. "Your kind always returns for what it fears, or what it wants to own." Jack looked at the seed again. He felt its warmth, its heartbeat. "What will happen if they get it?" The queen's voice darkened. "Then all worlds will burn." Jack backed away. "Then we can't let them take it." He reached into his pack and pulled out his comm tablet. He knew it was a risk, but he had to know the truth. He connected to the command channel. "This is Scout Jack Lang, reporting from Arana 7. I have new data. There's something here." The voice on the other side answered fast. "Copy that, Lang. We already have a fleet moving to your location. Full scan teams. You've done well." Jack froze. "Wait. I'm not sending coordinates." "Doesn't matter," the voice replied. "We already have them." His hands went cold. They had been tracking him the whole time. He looked at the queen. "They're coming." Her face stayed calm. "Then we must choose." She walked to him. "You know us now. You have seen what we hide, what we protect." Jack's voice was soft. "Then let me protect it with you." The queen stepped forward and placed her hand on his chest. The vines around them moved, the seed pulsed, and Jack felt something change inside him. He was no longer just a scout. He was part of something ancient, something alive. He was no longer just human. He was now a guardian, a protector. The jungle had accepted him, and soon the Empire would return. But this time, they would find more than trees. They would find a queen. They would find her new warrior. and they would face the wrath of a jungle that remembered every fire they had ever lit. The message they never wanted heard: the jungle slept under a silver moon. Jack sat beside the glowing roots of the seed, the queen standing quietly near him. Around them, her people, silent, glowing forms, moved like spirits between the trees. Some watched Jack with curiosity, others with doubt. He had seen their truth. He had chosen to stay. But now, he had to warn Earth. "If they bring the fleet," Jack said, "they'll destroy this place and they'll never stop." The queen tilted her head. "Then speak. Warn them. But know this. If they come with fire, we will answer with roots and stone and storm." Jack opened his comms again, this time on a secret channel only his friend Captain Rios used. "Rios, please respond." "It's Jack." Silence. Then a soft reply. "Jack, you're alive?" Jack breathed out. "Listen carefully, we were lied to. This jungle isn't empty. There's life here. Intelligent, ancient, peaceful. They're hiding something powerful. It's not a weapon. It's something alive. And if we attack it, everything will burn." "Jack," Rios said slowly. "They told us you were dead. They're already sending ships. They plan to take whatever's there and silence whoever resists." "Jack, they're calling it a clean sweep." Jack's stomach turned cold. "Then stop them," he said. "Please. Tell them to turn back." "I can't," Rios said. "I'm not in command anymore. They pushed me out when I asked questions." Jack lowered the comm. The queen's voice came gently. "They heard you, but they did not listen." She turned toward the jungle. "They are coming." The ground began to hum. Birds flew from trees. The wind changed. In the distance, Jack heard the first sound of doom. The low roar of Empire engines. Ships were arriving. "They're early," he said. "They never planned to wait," the queen replied. Jack stood. "We have to hide the seed, or move it." The queen shook her head. "The seed cannot be moved. It is rooted in the heart of this world. If it dies, the planet dies with it. Then we protect it." The queen walked to her warriors, tall, glowing figures with living armor made from bark and crystal. They stood like statues waiting. She raised her hand. "Prepare the jungle." Within seconds, vines uncurled, trees bent inward, and the air thickened. The forest was no longer silent. It was breathing. Preparing. Jack turned to her. "What about my team? They're still out there, unconscious, trapped." She looked at him quiet for a moment, then nodded. "Go. Bring them back. They are no longer the enemy, unless they choose to be." Jack ran through the jungle. Roots moved aside for him. Lights guided his way. He found the place, deep underground, where his team was held. 7 glowing cocoons pulsed gently. "Wake them," Jack said. The vines responded, pulling back like curtains. One by one, the soldiers opened their eyes, confused and scared. "Jack?" Cruz said. "What the hell's going on?" "No time to explain," Jack said. "We're under attack. We need to help defend this place or we all die." They looked at him like he was insane. "Defend what? Trees?" Jack's voice hardened. "No. Something sacred. Something older than all of us. If we don't fight, the Empire will destroy everything, including us." They hesitated. Then Lena stepped forward. "I trust him," she said. "Look around. This place is alive. It spared us." The others nodded slowly. Jack led them out of the tunnels back toward the Queen's City, but the sky was already burning. The first Empire dropships were landing. Flames lit the treetops. Explosions rocked the valley. Jack turned toward the noise, heart pounding. "We're too late." The Queen stood waiting, her warriors behind her. She looked at Jack. "You tried. That is enough. Now, let the forest speak." The vines shifted. The ground cracked. The jungle rose to defend itself. Roots shot into the air, slamming. Into ships. Trees folded like fists, smashing metal. The Empire fired back. Burning branches, crushing creatures. Jack and his team joined the fight. side by side with beings they didn't understand, but now believed in. He fought not for glory, not for orders, but for something sacred, something worth saving. The battle had begun, but it was not just war. It was a message. The jungle remembers. And now, so would the Empire. Fire rains on the jungle, the sky turned red. Flames fell like rain as the Empire's dropships poured fire across the trees. Thick smoke rolled over the jungle, turning day into night. Jack crouched behind a stone root wall with Cruz and Lena. Their rifles were ready, but they knew bullets alone wouldn't stop this storm. "We can't hold this line forever," Cruz said, coughing from the smoke. Jack looked at the Queen's warriors, tall and silent, standing calmly in the firelight. Their bodies glowed through the smoke, armor pulsing like the forest's own. Heartbeat. "We don't need to hold it forever," Jack said. "Just long enough." Above them, enemy ships opened their bays. Black-armored soldiers dropped into the jungle with heavy blasters. The moment their boots touched the ground, the jungle moved. Giant vines uncoiled and wrapped around their legs, slamming them into trees. Roots shot up from the ground and cracked, opened their armor. Creatures made of bark and crystal swarmed from the shadows, moving faster than any human soldier. Screams echoed in the trees. Jack watched in awe as the jungle fought like a living beast. "They're not just protecting the seed," Lena whispered. "They're protecting their future." But the Empire pushed harder. From the sky came a new threat. A heavy cruiser with energy cannons aimed directly at the Queen's city. "They're going to wipe it all out," Cruz shouted. Jack's eyes burned with fury. "Not if we stop them first." Turned to the Queen. "You said the forest remembers. Can it fly?" The Queen stepped forward, her face calm in the rising heat. "The forest can grow into the sky, but it needs a spark." Jack nodded. He grabbed the emergency beacon from his gear, the one meant to call backup. Instead, he twisted it. He rewired it. To overload. "This spark enough?" The Queen took it gently in her hand. More than enough. She raised the beacon to the air, and the jungle answered. From the deep pits of the earth, massive branches shot upward like towers. Trees grew in seconds, climbing into the sky, wrapping themselves around the Empire's ship. The roots pierced the hull. The vines crushed the engines, and the cruiser, screaming metal and fire, fell from the sky and crashed into the mountains. The explosion shook the valley. Even the Empire soldiers stopped and stared. Some dropped their weapons. Some ran. "They're retreating," Lena said, breathless. Jack didn't celebrate yet. Not all of them. On the far hill, another ship opened its doors. Tanks rolled out. Flame units. War droids. They're bringing everything now. But Jack smiled. "Good. We'll give them everything back." The Queen stepped beside him, raising her arms. Now they will hear the forest scream. The ground split open. A wave of living roots, vines, and creatures poured down the hill like a flood. Jack ran with them, his team at his side. For the first time, humans and aliens fought together, side by side, not as enemies, as protectors. They tore through the Empire's second wave. Droids were crushed by branches. Flamethrowers were swallowed by dirt. Jack climbed onto a tank, dropped a charge, and jumped, just as it exploded behind him. He landed beside the Queen's warriors, blood on his face, fire in his eyes. "We are not invaders," he shouted. "We are the warning." By sunset, the battlefield was quiet. Burned, scarred, but still alive. The Empire ships had fallen, and the jungle still stood. Jack walked through the smoke, his team behind him, the Queen beside him. They had won. But the cost was heavy. Many of her people had fallen. So had some of his. Jack stood in the center of the valley where the seed still pulsed under the earth. "This isn't over," he said. "They'll come again." The Queen nodded, "And we will be ready. But next time, they will not face a hidden jungle. They will face a world that remembers what they did." Jack looked to the stars. He had come here as a scout. He was now something else, something the Empire could not stop. A voice, a bridge, a warrior, a protector of something sacred. And he wasn't alone. The choice of two worlds. The fires had faded. The jungle was quiet again. But the silence felt different now. Not peaceful, but heavy. Jack stood at the edge of the valley, watching the sky. Small sparks from wrecked Empire ships still floated down like ash. The battle was over, but the war was only beginning. Beside him stood Maya, one of the medics who had survived the fight. She was treating the wounded, both human and alien. "They're calling it a miracle back at base," she said softly. "You led the defense of a planet they thought was empty." Jack didn't answer. His eyes were on the Queen, who sat in the heart of the jungle, surrounded by her remaining warriors. She was still, but something in her posture had changed. Weaker, wounded, fading. He walked over, kneeling in front of her. "You're hurt," he said. She opened her eyes slowly. "Not my body, my spirit. Too much has been taken." He looked down. "We saved the seed. We stopped them. Yes, but the forest has paid in blood, and more ships will come." Jack didn't argue. He knew she was right. Earth Command was already sending messages, requests for full reports, orders to return, warnings of new fleets preparing. Jack held the comm device in his hand. He stared at it for a long time. He had two paths: go back to Earth, bring the truth, tell the galaxy what happened here, and risk more violence, more greed, more destruction, or stay. Protect the seed. Protect the Queen. Protect the secret. "I have to decide," he whispered. The Queen looked at him, her voice calm even in pain. "You are not bound by vines. You may leave. But if you stay, you will not be human as they know it. You will be something else. Something more." He looked around the valley. Lena was helping rebuild a shelter. Cruz was organizing supplies. Some of the alien warriors had started planting new trees. New life growing from broken soil. "They'll call us traitors if we don't return," Jack said. "They will call you many names," she replied, "but what matters is what you call yourself." He stood in silence for a long time. Then, slowly, he smashed the comm device, crushed it beneath his boot. Maya saw it from a distance. She said nothing, just nodded once. She understood. Jack returned to the Queen and bowed his head. "I choose here. I choose this fight." The Queen smiled, the first true smile he had seen from her. "Then rise, Guardian." Jack stood, taller than before, though his armor was scarred and his body tired. He was no longer just a scout. He was part of the jungle now, part of the memory, part of the last hope. That night, he walked with the Queen through the deepest part of the forest. They reached a crystal pool glowing under the stars. She placed her hand on his chest. "Your old name will fade. Your new name will be written in the roots." The pool shimmered. Jack saw his reflection change, not in body but in spirit. Calmer, stronger, no longer alone. "What am I now?" he asked. "You are the bridge between what was and what must be. You are the sword of silence, the fire beneath the soil." He nodded. "Then let them come." Because now, when the Empire returned, they would not face a man. They would face something else. A choice. A warning. A defender of the Queen. The ghost of the jungle years passed. Ships came and went. Some came close to Arana. 7. None returned. Earth Command sent search units, scanning drones, even small fleets. But all they found was silence. The jungle remained still, watching, waiting. Whispers spread across the galaxy. They said a scout named Jack had vanished on Arana 7. They said he went mad, or was captured, or killed. But no one truly knew. On a rainy world near the outer rim, a traveler once told a story in a quiet bar. "There's a jungle out there," he said. "A living one, full of things that don't belong in stories. They say a man lives in it, or something that used to be a man." People laughed, some listened, but a few believed. Because the story kept growing. Jungle that moves. A queen with eyes like stars, and a human who walks between the trees like a shadow, protecting something too old, too powerful, too dangerous to ever be touched. They called him the ghost of the jungle. Some said he was dead. Others said he had become part of the forest, more vine than flesh, more memory than man. But the truth lived only beneath the roots. In the secret heart of Arena 7, the queen sat quietly beside a glowing pool. Across from her, Jack stood in silence, watching the stars through the green ceiling above. His hair had grown long. His armor was covered in moss. His eyes glowed faintly, touched by the seed's power. "They'll come again," he said softly. "They always do," she answered. "And we'll stop them. We always will." The jungle pulsed around them. Calm, ready, eternal. Because legends do not end. They become roots. And roots remember. Forever.